All right, let's talk Celebrity Apprentice. I definitely want to ask you regarding doing regular people versus doing celebrities.
Right.
Will you be going back to doing regular people like how we met Bill Rancic and Kwame back then?
So it depends.
Okay.
If I run for president, I can't do it.
Here we go again, Don.
No, I'm telling you. If I run, I can't do it because you're not allowed to have a show if you're running for political office. I don't know why. They talk about certain things, but you're not. Look at the sign. Look at the sign. Trump.
Oh my gosh, Trump!
Okay?
Trump
And I didn't give it. I didn't give it. That's a pretty good. I like that.
That's a good one.
I want that sign after the show. I think. Look, I love. First of all, I hate what's happened in the country, but I love doing The Apprentice,
yes.
and I love doing Celebrity Apprentice. I say that for myself, I have more fun now with celebrity because I meet all these people that I've read about, whether it's, you know, all the people that you talk about all the time between Brandy and Vivica
Yes.
A. Fox.
But
right?
because I enjoy, you know, I enjoy your show.
What do you like better?
I like Celebrity Apprentice better for you, but I like regular people for Millionaire Matchmaker with Patty. I like the regular people. I don't like the celebrity matches.
Right, I
but I
understand.
do like the celebrities for you, and I don't think you should go back to the real
It
people.
works both ways.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, when a show goes to celebrity, you don't go back. I
Yes.
mean, historically.
All right, so
but it's been great. You know, it was the #1 show on television. Continues to do great.
Yeah.
Continues to do great. You know, the one thing about our business, and it's sort of very simple. If you don't get good ratings, it's over.
It's over.
You can be the nicest person in the world. I have a friend who was canceled. He's the nicest person. He said, but I was so nice to everybody. I said, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you can be the most vile person. If you get ratings, it doesn't
on.
matter. So congratulations, because you're doing
Thank
very
you.
well.
Thank you.
You're both doing well.
Thank you. Donald Trump is thinking about running for president. And you were the Apprentice winner, so you know Donald better than anyone in the room. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I think if he wanted to run, he'd probably win. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy, he's a winner. Let's call it like that.
Yeah.
He's a smart man.
Right.
I'd be up for it.
We need someone who's going to tell the truth. And, you know, whether you like him or you hate him, I mean, he lays it out there and he lays the facts out. And,
Yeah.
Maybe he could be vice president.
Oh.
I would love that. I've always wanted to be like, you know, eventually he'll be president. I want to be a first lady. Don't you want to wear those outfits and be the first lady?
I
Like-
do. Well, sometimes.
No.
I like a pencil skirt, though, and a pair of kitten heels. Donald Trump has teased us a lot. For some reason, I already thought he put in his bid years ago for presidency, but in fact, I was reminded by Hot Topics, he never actually threw his hat in the ring. He just teased us. But it's official today. He's running for president. Donald, I know you watched the show. I'll do it again. Look. He's running for president. What do you think? That's a 50-50 thing? 50% of you? Okay, well, clap if you like this idea. Clap if you think he'll eventually drop out. I do. I mean, I like that, you know, he's finally declared his candidacy in typical Trump fashion. Just take a look, and then we're going to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that.
I love it. Okay, here's the thing. Now, you know he's worth almost $9 billion. Well, the good thing is that he'd be funding his own, you know, run, which means that he doesn't have to kowtow to any particular interest groups. You know, the other thing is that if you look at how he runs his family, try as you might, those Trump kids are good kids. I have to tell you something. These kids are good kids. You never hear them, you know, falling out of clubs, getting arrested or whatnot. I have no idea how he's done it, but he's done a really good job running his family. He's done a really good job of running his wife, as well as ex-wives. And I don't mean running like I'm belittling them. I just mean like you never hear the ex-wives, Marla Maples and Ivana, talking salty talk. So he's done a good job managing them. And if he wins, say he takes it all the way there, which I don't think that he will take it all the way, he's gonna drop out. But look, this would be our first lady, Melania. Gorgeous. The problem is that between he and Chris Christie, I don't think either one of them stand a chance. I'm gonna tell you why. My governor in New Jersey. You know why? You know why? This is very, very simple to me. They both have big mouths and a lot of bravado. That is a characteristic of New York, New Jersey, this tri-state area. That is not a characteristic that people particularly like in Idaho. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, people in Mississippi don't like all that, talk that Christie does, and they don't like the bravado of Trump. But one thing he does have over Christie is that people love Celebrity Apprentice, right? And so, my co-hosts are hating this whole story. Right, Suzanne? They're hating the story.
They are hating it.
But people love Celebrity Apprentice. People are used to him running that boardroom. And you know what? If he ran the boardroom the way he would run the country, we might have something going on. He's quick to fire people. He's quick to call you out. But he doesn't stand a chance in Mississippi. And, some of you nice people in the Midwest, I know it took you 6 seasons to deal with my big mouth. Do you know what I mean? Thank you for putting up with it, too. Now, they say Celebrity Apprentice is reportedly on hold during the election. I say, why put it on hold? I thought that's what he was grooming his daughter, Ivanka, and his son, Eric, for. They joined him in the boardroom. Problem is, with Ivanka and Eric, I won't tune in to see Ivanka and Eric. I mean, half of why I like Celebrity Apprentice is seeing how Donald maneuvers the boardroom. The other half is the apprentices he has on. I don't tune in to Celebrity Apprentice just because the apprentices are interesting. Like, I like to see that boardroom action. Either way, good luck, Donald, and we'll be keeping tabs on you. Okay. On Monday, Donald Trump announced that he's officially running for president. His speech highlighted his net worth, his real estate holdings, and the fact that America needs a leader who's not a loser. So, Jenny, could he actually win?
No freaking way! Oh my God, Wendy. First of all, if you're going to be running for president or president, then you need to have social grace and also kind of watch your words.
Yes.
And just a few months ago, he tweeted something, and you put something on the internet, it's there for good.
Yes.
And it's back, and this is what he tweeted. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? Wendy, is that part of the job description for president?
Well, the thing about Donald, I find him to be very entertaining.
Yes. There's no doubt about that. Listen, as you may be able to tell from this accent, I'm not from around here. And I'm telling you, this makes me love America, only in this country. Could a man who has declared himself bankrupt 4 times, according to some counts, is a reality show host, think that he could be president? But I tell you, it's going to be a hell of an election race. It is going to be so interesting.
I loved how he was selling himself in his announcement. I am a tough negotiator. Like, you can sit down at the table with Vladimir Putin and say, Vlad, you do not have class. You are fired.
You're a loser.
I want you off the planet.
Yeah,
well,
he's so classy.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, according to some polls, 70% of Americans say they will never vote for Donald Trump. So then you have to ask the question, what is he thinking? Is this the ultimate ego trip?
Well,
that with
also,
those kind of stats,
and last
you
time
still
out,
run
he went
for
on
president.
the birther kick with Obama. He wanted to see the birth certificate.
Yes.
None of us have ever seen his hairline. So, I mean...
That's what Lisa Lampanelli said yesterday. But you want to know what? Oh, you said about 70% would never vote for him. We took a poll at wendyshow.com, and 63% of people said they would never vote for him. I thought that the gap would be a lot larger. Let me just finish this, though. Donald Trump has almost as many Twitter followers as all the other 11 candidates combined.
Wow.
He has 3 million Twitter followers. The other ones combined have 3.6 million.
But Wendy,
I
that's
didn't
because
say
it's a joke and he's funny. It's
Yeah.
not.
He's funny.
Listen, and I think that, one political commentator said Donald Trump is like the Kardashian of, this election run.
Yes.
He's got high name recognition. That's fine, but that's not how you win elections, and I think we all know that.
And he's gonna create great distraction.
Those debates are going to be amazing. Are we all going to watch
Yes,
those debates?
absolutely, absolutely. I hate to talk about people that I like, but thank you. But Donald Trump, you're fired. Now, be very clear. When I say I like Donald Trump, if you watched our show through the seasons, Donald is he comes here a lot. And, I really enjoy conversation with him. I think he's smart. He's done a good job raising his kids. He's done a good job coming out of his bankruptcies, which a lot of you throw stones at that and say, well, if a man is bankrupt, has done bankruptcy, how can he run the country? It's not where you fall, it's how high you get up. Yeah. And he has risen to the occasion. Plus, I'm a big woman, I love a big man, and he gives good hugs, and he's, the whole bit. But I would never think of him as actually winning the presidency. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably time for him to bow out now. I'm just calling it the way I see it. I feel like, Donald, in a weird way, you're now looking like the crazy old man. And I don't like that for him. Like, I just wish he'd build golf courses and, increase the New York City skyline and beyond. But NBC has cut ties with Donald, saying because of his racist comments about Mexicans. Well, as far as I'm concerned, my thought is that NBC has done the right thing. They have cut ties with him before his infection spreads to the other network shows, like The Voice, like America's Got Talent. They have other shows and bigger business. And, NBC owns Bravo. And, so before the infection spreads, just cut the ties. In my head, and I don't know this for fact, but in my head, I do believe that NBC probably had a big powwow with him, asking him, begging him, please apologize so we can keep Apprentice on the air. Please, it's a good show for them, and, like that. But in my head, Donald probably said, oh, heck no, and hung up the phone on them. So therefore, they were forced to just say, okay, you've pushed us to this, we're cutting ties. Now, as far as Celebrity Apprentice goes, I don't care to watch anymore. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I just said this just last week, I believe I said this, right, Suzanne? Yeah. I said that the only reason why I watch is for Donald.
For him, yes, for Donald.
Are you curling your hair?
I did it today. we gave away the beach curler thing,
right,
and I used it this morning.
Wow, it looks good. It looks good. But, I'm a big fan of Celebrity Apprentice. I'm a big fan of Apprentice when they don't have celebrities. Who I'm a fan of is Donald Trump and that boardroom behavior. I won't watch with no Donald Trump, and I don't care what celebrities that you have on there. I don't know, clap co-hosts if you feel the same way. Because even though he says horrible things sometimes, like, Mexican people are racist and drug dealers, you have to admit that his Celebrity Apprentice style is extremely entertaining. And there is nobody who could take his place. But then I was sitting, in my room, putting on my costume before coming out here, and I was saying, well, what about Howard Stern? Howard is already with NBC. He's no longer going to be on America's Got Talent. He's not renewing. And then I said, well, maybe not Howard, because Howard, while interesting to watch, Howard is not known for business acumen. He's known for, I know he has businesses. I know, I'm sure he's very smart with his money, but, Apprentice is about somebody who has an empire to show, like the Trump way. And so maybe not Howard. And then I said, well, maybe Bethany. And then I said, well, she had the talk show, she wasn't so likable, but she's already with the NBC people because she's on the Housewives over at Bravo, which owns NBC. Problem is, I'm not too sure about the Bethany thing. She might be too polarizing. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Yes. And then I was reading someplace that they wanted to replace Donald with a minority. So I was like, okay, is this to make up for the Mexican comment? And I was trying to think, well, who would the minority be? Magic Johnson? Nice guy, but nice doesn't cut it in the boardroom. The reason that we love Donald Trump is because he has jerkish ways, and jerkish ways we love, okay? Then I said, oh, Puffy. All I know is don't get any harebrained ideas, NBC, and replace him with the Trump kids. Because while they're great kids, great doesn't cut it in the boardroom. You know, you can't be great and good. You have to be sharp and devious and jerkish. That's all. That's all. Right? So, look, did you watch the debate last night? Do you really have 3 hours out of your life to spend on anything? No. Neither do I. I mean, it was on, and I had it on several TVs in the house, but I'm walking back and forth, I'm making quinoa, like I'm busy, you know? But it was the debate, the hashtag Donald Trump show, right? Excuse me, I was fully entertained. I found him to be, well, it wasn't his best performance ever, but he still outperformed a lot, except for the lady. She did a good job, right? Look, our Donald Trump attacked almost everyone on stage, and I lived for it. Take a look.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you. I heard Governor Pataki, who, by the way, was a failed governor in New York, a very seriously failed. He wouldn't be elected dog catcher right now. I heard what he had to say. First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway,
but the simple fact is,
excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to.
Donald, you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that. Look,
I was asked the question.
Your brother and your brother's administration gave us Barack Obama because it was such a disaster those last 3 months that Abraham Lincoln couldn't have been elected.
Well, you all, and I read Facebook, you accuse me of being a Trump backer, and now you hate on me because you think I'm back. I'm not backing Trump. What I am is entertained by a friend to this show. That's what I am. I'm entertained. He's not votable. He's not presidential. He's like that boy that you sit behind in sophomore year in high school who you find rude but cute. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, right? And by the way, I was distracted by the airplane on the stage. I'm like, who's flying? Like, what is going on? And why are there so many people on the stage? And why do they, 3 hours? Like, not for nothing, we went to see Straight Outta Compton as a family over the summer. But I will tell you right now, anything over an hour and 45 minutes, you're losing me. The movie was 2 hours and like 20 minutes. Now, I stayed awake the whole time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. By the way, I gave it a 9, only because there's always that 1% where something could have been better, so it could have been a 10. My son gave it a 9 as well, and Big Kev gave it a... We were entertained. Yes. I'm shocked for Jersey. Because normally we say it like we mean it, and New York, Jersey, same thing when the rest of the world looks at us. So Trump was saying it like he means it. My Governor Christie almost didn't even matter during the entire debate. Like, do you remember when he was a contender? Yes. And we didn't like it? Yes. And now he's just fallen off the radar? Yes. And we forget about him? Not all. And so the top 3 people for the Republicans are not politically, from a political background. We've got Trump, not political. We've got the black brain surgeon, who, by the way, for a brain surgeon, talked really slow. He was a bit boring, though. You know, like, he made me appreciate Trump and Trump chutzpah. And then you've got the lady who said the most important stuff, only I didn't like when she dug into Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times they try to pit women against each other, but I guess she had to say something about the other side, so she did. Anyway, look, Rachel Maddow is here at our show today. And she's gonna tell us if she thinks Trump could actually win and what's up with the rest of them. So Rachel, later. Okay, Kanye West, who, by the way, stop asking me what I think about Kanye for president. Are you serious? This is a 1-hour show. And I don't waste time on mess. Most of the time. So stupid. The weekend is here. I don't know if you have big plans, but perhaps you'd want to tune into Saturday Night Live tomorrow because Donald Trump is hosting. People are furious. The Latino community, they're petitioning, protesting, they don't want it. As a matter of fact, the protests outside of SNL headquarters and NBC and whatnot have been going. This has been going on for like 24 hours, and it will continue probably until he gets there. Now, as we all know, Donald has said some very offensive things about a lot of people, including Mexican people. And NBC was where they aired his Miss Universe pageant. And remember, they cut ties with him because of making racist comments. So now he's back at NBC hosting SNL. And so people are outraged. I don't really know how to feel about this. I mean, you know, outraged, like he's not gonna be the president, you all. And but the more shocking thing is that if he's making comments like this and we're protesting because we don't want him on SNL, SNL means this compared to being the president. Like, that's the rub. You know, like, wow. In other Republican news, you know, my governor in Jersey, Chris Christie, is like down. He's at the bottom of the leaderboard. You know, it's crazy because at one point I think you Republicans thought that you really had one in this guy, and now he's only got like 2% of approval. Whereas, you know, now you've got a brain surgeon at the top of the leaderboard, Ben Carson. And Donald Trump, well, you know, is it risky for him to go on SNL? You know, this could be the one thing that puts him down there with Christie if he does the wrong thing. I mean, you know, he's got an opening monologue. He's gonna be in every skit. I'm going to set my alarm to wake up on time to watch out of... I mean, I've never had a problem telling you that sometimes I have to set my alarm for particular events. Like when you leave for the club, you leave at midnight. So I need to get my sleep on beginning at 8 and then set the alarm to wake up, you know? Things don't work like they used to. But yeah, I'm gonna set my alarm to watch out of curiosity. And I guess maybe if it's worthy, we can talk about it on Monday. Otherwise, Donald Trump. See, there comes a time in everyone's life where they need children or nieces or nephews or some young people around them to wrangle them in. Sir, I haven't seen you in ages. Where have you been? You've been at Clarence. Wait, right? Right? Now look. He's one of the people who helped build our show. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of my loyal co-hosts comes by the show, only I remember when Anderson Cooper had his show and I went as a guest, and there he was in the audience there. I believe I've even seen you in the Rachel Ray line outside before. So... No, it's fine if you troll from talk show to talk show. I just want you to consider this home. Okay. Okay. So funny. So, Donald Trump, as you all know by now, has called for a ban on all Muslims to enter the country. Well, you know what? He's playing on people's fears. You know, between the two attacks that recently happened, remind me.
One in Paris.
The one in Paris, and then the one in California. Exactly. So he's playing on people's fears, and then he goes on to backpedal to say something to the effect of, some of my best friends are Muslims. You heard him say that, right? People I do business with, some of my best friends are Muslim. Donald, you know what? Not even you. Ivanka. And the other children. You know, it's not like they're less than credible, wealthy kids. His kids, these kids have built a life of making their father's legacy live on. It's not even his wife's job at this particular point, because she is the mother of young Barron. Barron's not old enough to speak up or have credibility. But the older kids, this boy, and this smart girl with all those good clothes at Macy's. Listen, it's time for the Trump kids to wrangle their father in, close the blinds, and tie him to the chair. And the scary part is that they say he's considering going independent, you know, leaving the Republican Party. But do you realize that they're also saying that 60% of the people in the Republican Party will follow him to independent? Do you understand that it looks like it might be Hillary versus Donald? And I'm going to be honest with you. Voting is a responsibility that we all have. But who do you vote for between the two of them? Like, you know, I'm not voting just because you're a woman, and I'm not voting just because you're black. You know, I don't know who to vote for. I vote for the only people to keep us safe are the people who live in our four walls. Everybody take care of your own house because the government is a mess. And if it's Hillary and Donald, Donald Trump is in another feud. This time it's with Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, it's time for Celebrity Twitter War. Hit it. Oh, this was a big situation this morning in our meeting. Okay, so the feud, I'm sorry, juice mouth. The feud started when Samuel was doing an interview and I guess asked something about Trump, and Samuel said that Donald cheats when they played golf together. And so no. Here's what Donald said back. I don't know Samuel L. Jackson. To the best of my knowledge, I haven't played golf with him and think he does too many commercials. Boring, not a fan. Here's my thought. This is not very presidential, but it's hella entertaining. So Samuel fired back. And here's what he said. And look, he's got receipts. No, real receipts. No. Here, that's the receipt, okay? A bill from the guy that doesn't know me and never golfed with me. I'm gonna block his ass too. Now, apparently, I saw, on the receipt that they played golf in July of 2015. And then all of a sudden, listen, out of nowhere, Anthony Anderson, the dad from Blackish, got involved. So Anthony said that they all golfed together. And by the way, he says that they ate shrimp and hot dogs. They've got some really good meatless hot dogs. I don't eat the meat anymore. What do you like on your hot dog? Like me, relish, spicy mustard, sauerkraut, and every once in a while, but only if I'm in my house where I have a lot of napkins, I like the chili. I've always thought of ketchup on a hot dog as something that people under 10 years old do. You know what I mean? Like after you get 10, then you elevate. Anyway, the ultimate shade is acting like you don't know someone. In my opinion, I've been practicing this for years. Oh yes. You ask me about somebody who I don't care for, I will say who? That's me. Who? Because acting like somebody doesn't exist is worse than disrespecting them and calling them out of their name or saying that their mom wears combat boots. It's the worst. And, somebody mentioned in the morning meeting, well, maybe he got, Samuel mixed up with someone else. I said, no. Whoa. First of all, you don't get Samuel L. Jackson mixed up with anyone, okay? He's the Capital One guy, isn't he? Okay.
It's in your wallet.
But you don't get, I've never met him in my, hi, Jackson. But you don't get him mixed up with anyone. This is Donald being shady and childish and not presidential. But I have to tell you something. His polling ratings are up 38% as of this morning. So this could be your next president. I mean, if he's gonna act childish about Samuel L. Jackson and golf, imagine how his hand will hover over that red button. You know that red button where when the president presses it, you know, it goes down. Anyway, let's move along. Over the last few months, Donald Trump has been feuding with everyone, from Ted Cruz. Has he feuded with your husband?
Oh, every day.
Okay, George Stephanopoulos, Megyn Kelly, Jeb Bush, and now he's feuding with the Pope. Like, who fights the Pope? So yesterday, during a visit to Mexico, the Pope was talking about Donald Trump's immigration plan and said that Donald Trump is not a Christian. So Donald fired back at the Pope. And this, they're saying, a lot of people, could be the final nail in the coffin for Donald Trump. But I am not sure. Don?
As someone who has interviewed Donald Trump 6 times, I say, well, Donald Trump, congratulations, now you're president. And let me tell you why.
What?
Yes, because conservatives are already mad at the Pope. They say he's too liberal. They say he's too political. This only puts Donald Trump in the spotlight again, and the people who like him, it galvanizes them. They already believe what Donald Trump says. They don't believe what the Pope is saying.
If that's true, then I'm already horribly depressed. But I was out last night with some friends. Yes, I have friends. And we were talking about Donald Trump, and I said, I don't know what could hurt him. I mean, unless Jesus Christ himself. Yeah. And by the way, next day the Pope comes out and says he's not Christian. I hope it does affect him.
He's working his way up the ladder, but he will get there eventually.
Yeah.
I will tell you that in my opinion, I agree with Don. I don't think he could confess to the kidnapping the Lindbergh baby and his ratings would only go up. There's nothing that will knock him down. Think of the things he's done. I mean, he got in that feud with Kelly, Megyn Kelly.
Right.
He's used
John
all
McCain.
those John McCain. He's used all those names about Ted Cruz. He took. This is priceless. He took JebBush.com and bought it.
Yes.
And now, if you type in JebBush.com,
Yes.
it takes you to Donald Trump's webpage. Now,
I mean, that's smart.
let me just say,
smart.
I don't care if you like him. I don't care if you like him or you don't like him. That is brilliantly funny.
And the other candidates are saying, I
actually,
wish this was me that the Pope was criticizing. I'm telling you, conservatives, you guys forget the Pope just came here and got so much criticism from conservatives because they said he was too political, he should not be weighing in on immigration. The people who support Donald Trump already believe...
The Pope is part of pop culture now.
Yes,
So he stepped into a nasty mosh pit.
Let me just say one more thing. Going back to JebBush.com, I thought that was so funny that today I bought DonLemon.net. And if you go to DonLemon.net, it will take you to AlexFerrer.com.
Judge Alex, because I yesterday Googled Nasty Boys and the two of you came up. So I bought that website.
We make a little extra money on the site.
So here's the thing. Donald Trump had the nerve to say about the Pope, you would want me as president if ISIS attacked the Vatican. Okay, but the Pope clapped back. He said, a person who thinks only about building walls wherever they may be and not building bridges is not Christian.
But I think the Pope was being interviewed, and he said that, and then Donald Trump responded in that statement saying, you know, he's saying that ISIS, that's ISIS's ultimate trophy. No, it looks like a brace, right? Here you go.
You look tight, man.
How's that? Is that better?
Oh my God.
That's ISIS' ultimate trophy is to attack the Vatican, and that's what the Pope said.
No,
How's
don't
that?
mess
Is that
up your
better,
microphone, though. Okay.
Is that better?
It's
Now it looks like a
good.
bib.
Well,
It's very 007.
let's Donald Trump. All right, and his exes.
Yes.
They're all in the spotlight. Now,
Yes.
what's all doing?
Well, let's just say Donald Trump is everywhere, and his exes right now are taking advantage of it. So we all know that he's had 3 marriages.
Right.
3 marriages. But what I'm here to tell you, of all the girls out have been in between those marriages. So we'll start out with the marriages, and then we'll talk about the girlfriends, okay? He was married to Ivana, okay? And if you don't like Donald Trump, you've got to love his kids. His kids are spectacular kids.
They are.
Donald Jr., he's got Ivanka and Eric.
One of them looks scared.
One of them. That's Eric. That's Eric.
Oh, that's Eric.
That's Eric in the middle.
That's the one who got the letter with the powder in it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Eric. So then he married Marla Maples, who was the alleged mistress to when he was married to Ivana. And they had a beautiful girl by the name of Tiffany. And then now everybody knows who Melania Trump is. You can't skip her, miss her. She's
his current wife.
Yep. and they have a son, Barron, together. Okay? Now, in between all this, let's talk about the girlfriends.
Okay.
He started out with Gabriella Sabatini. Ti quiero, te amo. Wow.
Oh,
Gabriella is from Argentina. She was a former tennis pro.
this is clearly from the early 80s.
She won the U.S. Open in 1990. And that's when her relationship with Donald Trump ended.
Suzanne, stop laughing
No.
so loud.
That
You
was,
can stop.
Suzanne, that was in style back then. That's what 1990.
Okay.
And then we're moving on to Carla Bruni.
Oh, I remember her.
Beautiful.
Then she went on to be the first lady of
Former first
France.
lady of France. She was married to the former president of France. Here we go. And she was also rumored to have an affair with Mick Jagger and Eric Clapton. Donald and her did not get along. And can you believe this? Donald said she was hard to like. Imagine Donald saying somebody's hard to like. Anyway, they ended their relationship and he moved on.
Okay. Wow.
To Roanne Brewer, a 22-year-old former model. She loved him. She said he flew her everywhere in the helicopter. He was funny, intelligent, bright. Their job separated it. She went her way, he went his way.
Okay.
Here's the interesting one. Cara Young, gorgeous, beautiful, supermodel, and an actress. He dated her, but there seems to be an overlap. She was dating former gossip columnist AJ Benza.
How's AJ doing? Do you know him?
Well, I think he's still depressed over losing her. But what happened? He was on the Howard Stern radio show in 2001, and Donald Trump, in typical Donald Trump fashion, called up and said, "Hey, AJ, I don't think that you know this, but Kara's dumping you. She's with me." AJ's like, "What are you talking about? I just left for California." He goes, "Yeah, while you were in California, I took on a date. Buddy, she's with me." It got so heated that she had to call in and keep the peace and say, "Yes, AJ, we're over. I am with the Donald." And not a nice way to do it, but okay. So they...
On the radio?
Yes,
Oh,
on the radio. They ended their relationship, and then we're going to move on to his last girlfriend, former Playboy, Playmate, and Penthouse model, Victoria Zadrot. Woo!
Yes.
And she said she went out with Donald 4 times.
4 times.
And all he talked about was Cara and how awesome the orgasms he gave Cara were. Okay? Now, when Donald was, they came to him and said, "Donald, do you know who this woman is?" And she says that you are this, this, and this. He says, she said that he ended it with Cara because she was half black. So when the media questioned Donald said, "Hey, I don't even know who this Victoria chick is. I never went on dates with her. And according to this picture, she looks like a third-rate hooker, and I don't date third-rate hookers."
Donald Trump. Boo! Donald Trump, he said. Donald Trump's presidential campaign has been reaching new lows. But over the weekend, his rallies, first of all, they've been turning violent. But over the weekend, there was a clash with a 70-year-old man. Well, all right, this is one of many things that happen. And it always seems like it's black against white. And I don't really, he is baiting people with weak minds, people who can't think for themselves, and he knows exactly what he's doing. But you don't get points for baiting weak people who happen to be racist themselves. So, Donald is saying that he doesn't condone violence, but you know what? He promotes violence at his rallies. If you listen closely to what he says, there's always something volatile going off. Take a look.
He was swinging, he was hitting people, and the audience hit back. And that's what we need a little bit more of. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. No politician's gonna solve it. I was going to say they're full of but I won't say that. So if you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees, I promise.
This is like, when you hear that when you first heard that he was running for president, you thought it was a joke, that he was just another guy doing it. But this joke has now gone too far. And And Donald was a friend of our show. You know, he's been on here several times, but now he's just played himself out of position. I don't, and you know, and it's a shame because his kids seem to be decent kids, but now we don't even like you. Oh my gosh, you're standing. You're so passionate. But can I just say this? Like that Ivanka Trump, she makes good, reasonably priced stuff like Jessica Simpson. But if I were you, I'd throw away my Trump gear. All of it. And it, you know, because at this particular point, you know, Donald is 69 years old. You can't tell me that grown children don't have some sort of authority over their own parents. If you're lucky enough and your parents are still alive, I mean, you act like it's okay for them to tell you what to do, but we really do our own thing. But you can definitely manipulate your parents with regard to modern times. You know, like mommy, they don't wear scarves like that anymore. You know, the younger generation, you know, we wear scarves like this. She's like, oh, Wendy, that's fabulous. You know, daddy, nobody combs their hair like that anymore. They comb it like this. Oh, Wendy, you know what I mean? So where are these kids? And yeah, I'm blaming them also. Where are the kids saying, four ladies in the front over near Jason and Norman are like the stone-faced killers. They are looking at me like, really? We are here to support Trump. That's okay, we're gonna jump you during commercial. I like your pants, they're very groovy. Groovy. Anyway, I just feel like at some point the kids were supposed to have stepped in like 10 rallies ago to educate their father on how being racist was never cool, and especially not now. And they're also he's endangering their entire family. You realize that? Anyway. So I was out last night, so I did not see the debate, but everybody's talking about last night's Republican convention. Well, I've seen the news sound bites, and the biggest thing that's glaring in every people's face is how Donald Trump made his grand entrance to We Are the Champions. I equate this to Beyonce's entrance on any given Beyonce day. Like, Beyonce comes out in smoke with a silhouette, you know? So funny. In my mind, I know he's like, I can't believe I'm pulling this off. This was only supposed to be like a 2-week stunt. I might really be president. Melania, get up there and say something. So now here she goes. Melania.
From a young age, my parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life.
And Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise. That you treat people with respect.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're gonna do. That you treat people with dignity and respect.
We want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
We want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Okay, so clearly there is some plagiarism going on. And she said that she told Matt Lauer that she worked on her own speech. This is before the speech was done. Matt Lauer, right?
Yeah.
Yes. In the meantime, clearly she had a speechwriter. Who wouldn't? like, for as many speeches as each of us have given in life, whether it's speaking to the first grade class or speaking to, you know, dignitaries or whatever, when you're speaking or being a potential first lady, of course you're gonna hire speech writers, and they all need to be fired. Melania had no idea. Like, you know, Melania had no idea that she was reading Michelle Obama's speech from back in 2008, right? 2008. And by the way, and I don't mean to bring up race, but we talk about race. Can I just say this as an observation as a black woman? I bet you somebody told Michelle, strip down, put on some chapstick and get out there and be with the people. You know, implying, you know, maybe a black thing as well as a thing. In the meantime, Melania is beat for the gods, okay? She's got lashes, contouring, you know, the whole bit. A designer dress that was $2,100. Yeah, it's a Roxanda dress. In the meantime, Michelle's dress might have been from like maybe Ross's. No, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. What I'm saying is that there is a clear difference in who wears what, giving their potential first lady thing. And people are so focused on the words. I was focused on the words, but also the look. Like, because I was like, Michelle, where the, oh, I get it. They told you, the man told you to pare down so that you can get in there. But she's paired up now. The Michelle Obama has never looked better in her life today. And then, you know, even with the clothing, I don't recall anybody saying who designed Michelle Obama's dress or her brooch. By the way, I didn't bring it out here. It's at home in secret hiding. Do you remember when Melissa Rivers was here? And she was showing me some stuff, like there were two things, one particular, a brooch. Somebody secretly here at the show bidded on the brooch and gave it to me for my birthday. Oh yes, oh yes. Look. And I had no idea. It was presented in such a weird way. They wrapped it in Joan Rivers and Wendy wrapping paper. Like Michael Lee, he's a genius here at the show. He does our set design. He did the wrapping paper and I opened it. I'm like, what is this? Oh! It's diamonds and sapphires and gold. And it's got, and you know a brooch is good when it's got not one, but two pins in the back. Yeah, it's pinalicious. Suzanne, did you know that they were getting me that brooch?
Yes, I did.
How long did you know?
I knew a few days.
Well, the day that Melissa was here, I was told by the producer of the segment, don't touch the brooch, which that's the first thing I do. You know, you saw on the TV, I picked up the brooch, I'm looking at the brooch, I'm like, oh my gosh, this brooch is really, really beautiful. And then I put it down gently, and I had no idea I would be the next owner.
Yep. Isn't that amazing?
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
It's so Upper East Side.
Yeah.
If you're in Manhattan, you know what I'm saying. Thank you, Joan. But back to the ladies. Nobody said whether, Michelle is wearing an expensive brooch, an expensive dress, or anything like that. People pointed out this Melania is wearing a $2,100 outfit. Nobody ever pointed out, though, except for the newspaper I read. We didn't talk about it here on Hot Topics, but Hillary Clinton wore a $12,000 Armani jacket. Oh, yes. I know, I want my money back, too. Suzanne is a fool. That we love. Yeah, I want my money back too. But here's the thing. You can't really chastise people for wearing expensive clothes if you know that they are already about that life. Like, what do you expect Melania to wear? She's a Trump, for goodness sakes. She won't be first lady. She's uncomfortably beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Like, uncomfortably gorge. Sometimes you can be too pretty and price yourself out of the market. Like I don't want this as a first lady. Anyway, as a side note, Donald has named Omarosa as director of All Blacks. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Omarosa is our leader. She will be carousing black people everywhere to vote for Donald. That's a little side note. Let's keep it moving. One of the big stories everybody's talking about is Melania Trump's speechwriter coming clean. The bigger story is that she wasn't fired. The bigger story is that she was a ballet dancer before being a speechwriter. Is there anyone in the Trump administration qualified to actually do their jobs? I mean, well, people would say he's not qualified for president. The kids, while they're beautiful kids and very smart in their own rights, they were running around, they've been running around like they actually are, you know, like they are heads of state for their father as opposed to just the kids learning stuff. Do you know what I mean? All right, Melania, we know that she's being accused of plagiarizing heavy parts of Michelle Obama's 2008 convention speech. Now, this longtime staffer, who also happens to be a friend of the family, the Trump family, is taking responsibility. She turned in her letter of resignation, and Donald didn't fire her. He said everybody makes mistakes. Don't get any ideas around here. Anyway, look, the speechwriter says that she and Melania were on the telephone, and Melania said that she really does admire Michelle Obama, and she really did admire that speech that Michelle gave when the Obamas first got into the White House, you know, when they were doing the convention, rather, in 2008. So Melania is on the phone again with the speechwriter, and Melania's got part of the speech in her hands and talking on the phone to the ballet writer. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with doing ballet and writing, but I'm just thinking, you know, wouldn't you want an English major with a doctorate degree in English? You know, or a fabulous, you know, writer of books like, say, Judy Blume. I don't know where that came from. But I'm just saying, she's a known writer, and she would not, she knows the dangers of plagiarizing. You know, I mean, heck, even in college, not me, but even in college, the way people that I know used to do it was they would look at great works, and then they would pull out the thesaurus and find a different word that means the same thing. I don't know those people anymore. Anyway, so Melania said that, you know, it's alleged that Melania was telling this woman, you know, some of these lines, and then the woman was writing them down, you know, as Melania's talking. And so then what the woman did, the ballet writer, is we know the rest of the story. So then she, you know, and because that story is getting so much attention, she says she feels bad for Trump's campaign, but she also feels bad for the family. And so she said, the best thing for me to do is just resign. So she resigned. Her resignation letter probably was plagiarized also. Anyway. So she turned in her letter of resignation, and Trump, you know, like I just told you before, said, you know, no, everybody makes mistakes, and so you'll stay and we'll work this out. You know, there's nothing wrong with not firing people when they make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But this is a mistake for the office of the highest job in the country. This is Melania particularly has got to be really on point because people, not I, but some people have a problem with a first lady who is not originally from this country, you know, and the accent throws them off. So a lot of people were also giving her a pass, Melania, saying, well, you know, maybe she didn't really understand. It's no. Don't let that good figure, perky boobs, and pretty eyes fool you. She's smart. Melania is smart. She is smart, but she also was perhaps less than smart for not proofreading the speech before she actually got out there and did it. And you know the lines, Melania, that you gave this woman, so when you see this woman repeating, "Word is bond," or you know what I mean? When you see that in your speech as you're driving over to the venue with your husband and you're looking over your, or whatever, well, she's a busy woman. She's got Barron to take care of. She's got an empire to run. And she's got her own cosmetic line and jewelry and stuff. Yeah, she's smart in her own right. But at some particular point, you should have looked over your own speech. That's all. Let me lead them to the door before, you know, the hubbub of the evening, because I wanted to watch by myself, but I fell asleep. When I woke up this morning and I said to Kevin, okay, so who won? And he said, President Trump. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, so congratulations to the Trump family, all of them. You all, he is our 45th president, but his speech wasn't delivered until 2 a.m. Now, I don't know what you were doing, but I was on the inside of my eyelids. And, you know, in part of his speech, he did say it's time for everyone to come together and unite as one people. Well, you know, I think that's something that we could all agree about even prior to him running. You know, my people have been saying that forever, so can we just get together and be as, oh, come on, take this. Okay. Congratulations to Hillary. You put up a great fight. But, you know, you should have spoke last night, though, girl. You should have gone to your own party. You shut down the West Side Highway. You had fireworks planned, then you canceled the fireworks. But this is what a good leader does. And I know that you know this, Hillary. Damn, we learned this in the brownies. You know, when you're the leader of your troop, I mean, we learned this. Leadership means that you stay on the boat until it sinks. Suzanne?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Suzanne,
Yes.
if anything ever happens to our show,
Yes.
as your leader,
Okay, yep.
I will be here.
Yes.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yes, yes.
And that's what a leader does. You don't go home and go to bed.
No.
Or go and cry in your closet until after you've spoken to your troops. People who have held you down. Norman? Norman, I'm not leaving without a final farewell to my loyal flock. Okay. President Trump. Trump clapped back at Snoop Dogg. Oh yes, this is what it's come to, everyone. Oh yes. Earlier this week, you know, Snoop released a new music video mocking the president. And it features Snoop shooting a toy gun while, you know, President Trump, well, they don't say that this is President Trump, but clearly you can tell by the orange skin and the long tie. You know, well, the president clapped back this morning. He tweeted, "Can you imagine what the outcry would be if Snoop Dogg, failing career at all, had aimed and fired the gun at President Obama? Jail time." Well, here's my thought. And I'm not talking about the Obama part. I'm talking about the overall, you know, pointing a gun at the president. I thought we learned that in kindergarten. Like, there's certain things that you can't do. You guys, like, you can't yell fire in a movie theater. These days, we all know you don't talk about bombs at the airport. And you definitely, we learned this in kindergarten, you don't burn a flag. So at what point do you feel, it's just kind of a given that you don't threaten the president, like you don't, even if you hate or love, you know, you don't send exuberant love letters either, because that's threatening also, you know? But you don't, like the Snoop, you did go too far with that one. But with that in mind, you know, I don't know that he would have, my thought is that he would have clapped back at any artist at this point. I examined in my mind as I'm getting dressed, because at first in our meeting this morning, I was like, the black man thing, the, you know, public enemy #1. Is he clapping back for that? But I said no. If it was Sia, he might have clapped back, yes. Garth Brooks, there'd be a clappation. Did he clap back at Madonna when she said she'd blow up the White House? I'm not so sure. He didn't respond?
To Madonna.
He didn't respond to Madonna, but he responded to Snoop.
Right.
Well, maybe because he had a direct connection with Snoop, because, you know, back in 2005, I believe it was, Snoop was one of the roasters at, used to be my homie, used to be my ace. Now I want to smack the taste out your mouth. You know? What happened? What happened? So, you know, all in all, you know, there will be no jail time. I feel like this is the president clapping back at, President Trump, pay attention to more stuff. But to end this story, I have to say to you all that even though we did grow up saying, don't yell fire in the movie theater and don't burn a flag and don't threaten the president, listen, these are some very unique times. And this is a very unique president. And he has some very unique circumstances where if he's gonna be clapping on Twitter and, you know, the gram and stuff, then this is a president who the clappations, it's a different situation, you know? Anyway, let's move along. Top story, Omarosa. I will give you my opinion after I give you what we know. All right? So she's out of a job. According to the White House, Omarosa has resigned from her role as, what'd you all say? As Director of Communications for the Office of Public Liaison. I don't know what that is, but she resigned to pursue other opportunities, she says. Okay, but according to several sources, she was forcibly escorted out of the White House. She demanded to see the president. Apparently, she tried to get into the private area of the White House, you know, where they sleep, and ran into Ivanka, and Ivanka was like, no, I have no words for you. John Kelly is not the one who was there when Omarosa got this job. But Kelly is in there right now and apparently cleaning house. So he allegedly told Secret Service to remove her from the building. Well, she went on Good Morning America and spoke with Michael Strahan, and this is what she said. Go ahead.
Were you escorted off?
No, I was not. And in fact, Secret Service put out a statement because I think that they were bothered with the assertion that they were involved with any type of escorting or shutting me down, that sort of thing. And I think you should take the word of the U.S. Secret Service over someone who has a personal vendetta to bring me down. But when I have a chance to tell my story, Michael, quite a story to tell. As the only African-American woman in this White House, as a senior staff and assistant to the president, I have seen things that have made me uncomfortable, that have upset me, that have affected me deeply and emotionally, that has affected my community and my people. And when I can tell my story, it is a profound story that I know the world will want to hear.
I will still reserve my opinion until we get to Robin Roberts. Hit it.
So she said she has a story to tell, and I'm sure she'll be selling that story. We'll see. Yeah, sure. Bye, Felicia.
Robin said, bye, Felicia. I can't. And then, you know, Angela Rye, she's Common's girlfriend. Well, she gave her opinion. Take a look.
Go ahead, Angela. I want to hear you, and then I do want to talk about the black vote in Alabama.
I want to talk about the black vote, too. But, Brooke, I'm going to do what you can't do and what April and Simone are too good of people to do, and that's just going to be petty for a minute. Ah! Bye, girl. Bye.
Angela.
We did it already on the podcast, April, but bye, honey. You have never represented the community. You are skin folk. We don't own you like Zora. Goodbye, good riddance, goodbye. Deuces.
Angela,
Out.
Angela, you know I have much love for you, but you know what? I don't delight in anyone's demise.
I'm not delighting in her demise. I wish her the best, but
So, if you've been watching The Wendy Show long enough, then you know my first encounter with Omarosa was in our first season, where she tried to play me, but we're still here and she doesn't have a job. And if you continue to watch, then you know we made up. She became some sort of pastor or something, and brought her ex-fiance or her late fiance, Michael Clark Duncan, here. You know, he passed away. But so we made up. And now here's my opinion. My opinion is Omarosa was fired. I don't believe she quit. Number one. Number two, I don't believe that she was escorted out. I do believe that because of the reputation that she has created for herself, it's easy to say anything negative about Omarosa and people believe it. You see, around here at Wendy, everybody's delighting in this, except for two people, me and one other person. I'm not delighting in it. I do think she got fired though, but you know, I think that because of the role she plays as the villain, it's easy to say she was escorted out. Angry black woman. She's throwing shoes. She was doing this. She was doing that. Well, apparently she wants to move on to more politics. She's looking at something, I think, in Nigeria or something like that. Well, Omarosa, good luck. And welcome back. It's time for the Inside Scoop. And here with the dish is comedian and host of Sirius XM's Hit One in Hollywood. Say hello to our old friend, Michael. Yo.
What's up? Yes.
Michael.
Oh.
A porn star.
A porn star and Donald Trump are presidents. Oh. Let's get into it. Hopefully there's a happy ending to this story.
I'm sure there was.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna take you back to 2016, 3 weeks before the election. Allegedly, Donald Trump and his lawyer paid a woman, a porn star named Stormy Daniels, $130,000 to keep it quiet, and she signed a non-disclosure. Now, this was at the same time she was negotiating with Good Morning America to go on that show and release this big story 3 weeks before the election. So that never happened, okay? So this week, the story comes out, Donald Trump denies it, she denies it, and we all move on. But there's one problem. In 2011...
I remember it.
Yeah. In 2011, she did an interview with In Touch magazine, where she goes into great detail.
Graphic details.
About
the sex wasn't bad, but it was just something that you'd expect from a man of his age.
One position the whole time.
He was thinking that they were going out for dinner, but he opened the hotel door. He was in his pajamas.
Watching TV.
Watching TV, we're gonna eat here.
Yeah, and no condom. No condom too. Now, which is very disgusting.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. This is all allegedly. Now, they met in 2006, about 2 to 3 weeks after Melania had their son
not
Barron.
using a condom in this day and age.
Well, it was 2006 back then. It was a different time, Wendy, I guess, for him. I don't know.
I'm not judging porn stars, but in my mind, don't they get around?
Oh, yeah, they're porn stars. Of course they get around. They get around every video, Wendy. What are you talking about?
So she's at home with baby Barron.
She's at home with baby Barron
Melania.
and Melania, and they're in Lake Tahoe. He goes there for a golf tournament. She's there with her porn
devices.
Her porn company, and they're working. The porn stars are working a gifting suite.
Okay.
Like what? Who invites porn stars to a golf tournament? That's what I don't understand in the first place. So Donald Trump meets her. Invites her out to dinner, but like you said, she thought she was going to a fancy dinner, but they wind up in his room. Now,
well, he's a married man. He can't just prance around like that.
That's what I'm saying. So here's what makes everyone start believing this story. She took a lie detector test.
Oh.
Passed it. Her ex-husband took a lie detector test, passed it, and her best friend she told all this juicy stuff to, passed the lie detector too. So that's where we stand right now. And she kept asking Donald about Melania, and he was like, don't worry about her. She'll be all right. Allegedly.
$130,000 is not enough money.
She
for
should have
a
got
man
more
of
money,
such-
right?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, is she still porning and starring? How old is she now?
Well, I didn't know much about Stormy Daniels, so I had to do my research and look her up. No, I didn't watch any
Does
videos.
your wife know?
No. I looked up facts, Wendy. I was looking up facts. She's 38 years old. She's 38 years old. She's won over 30 awards, so she's very accomplished at what she does. Oh yeah.
She's very decorated.
She's very decorated. Yeah, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you some of the movies she's been in. Good Will Humping. Oh yeah. The Witches of Gresswick. And Porking with Pride #2. Which I heard is way better than #1, you know? So that's where we are today. So my question to you, Wendy, will the Trump supporters even care?
No.
No?
No. This is something that, at this point, that you expect this kind of behavior from him.
But why is that acceptable in America today? That's what I don't understand.
You voted for him.
What do you mean I voted for him? I voted for Hillary. No, I didn't. What? See, don't be throwing Donald Trump on me. Why are you doing that?
There's a lot acceptable in America today that used to not be, you know? So, the State of the Union was on last night. I got stuck on Andrew Dice Clay's show, actually, which is actually fabulous. So I was back and forth. Melania, though, arrived on her own, which is breaking tradition, because normally the First Lady and the President arrive together. So that's making quite the statement. Boy, that hair is a one-trick pony, isn't it? It's never a side part, never an off-center part. She's in a beautiful Dior suit. That is not Barron. She's wearing a D&G blouse and a pair of Louboutin shoes, being checked out by the cop. I think, yeah, she's making a statement. You know, Stormy Daniels is going on tour, you know, on talk shows and stuff. She was on Kimmel last night. And this has got to be thoroughly embarrassing for Melania. All she wanted was a green card and a baby. You know, a green card and a baby. And look at what has happened. So, and the clapping and the standing up. They do more clapping there than we do here. And then Trump claps for himself. And then at one point, I saw him have everybody else clap, like he's encouraging his own audience, like clap. It was just awkward, and he only talked to one side of the audience, which I thought was weird. You know, you have to pan to everyone. You can't just be a one-side pony. What did I think? Ugh, I didn't care. I mean, and I could not stay up to watch Jimmy Kimmel, but I knew that we'd have the highlights here this morning with Stormy Daniels, the porn star, who's, take a look.
Do you have a non-disclosure agreement?
Do I?
But I got 3 carats here.
They better be diamonds.
There's a carrot. There's a carrot. And there's a carrot. Stormy Puppet, perhaps, can answer some questions. And look who's here with us. It's Donald in his underpants.
Have you ever made love to anyone whose name rhymes with Lonald Lump?
Yeah, I'll call you whatever you want me to call you, baby.
You know, she's 38, and I know she's been in the game of porn for a while, but she's like a dusty-looking throwback porn star, right? Like dusty-looking. If you saw her walk out, like this dress right here, what the hell? And I have big boobs, I know. But she just looks wild and sloppy. Just nasty. I wonder if they'll get a divorce once he leaves the White House. Then again, why? It's a marriage of convenience. I'm sure they haven't, you know, had sex in years, since Barron. So she's making her rounds. She's supposed to be on The View tomorrow. Listen, they were asking you here, would we like to have her? I said no. What's she gonna say? We had Jordy Lippy, who did the original article, with including 3 lie detector tests. If you watched yesterday's show, you know, we talked about that from In Touch magazine. Stormy Daniels is lying. She knows what she did, and now she's on her Make America Horny Again tour. At 38 years old, all worn out down below. Excuse me, I call it like I see it. She wouldn't be a good guest, trust me. All right, so now we know why Omarosa is going to be in the Celebrity Big Brother house. It's for a juicy paycheck. And the promise of something else, which I don't think they're gonna keep their promise, but anyway. When she left the White House, she reportedly got this deal. She was getting deals, according to People, from all, not People magazine, but People, folk. From all over the world to do reality TV. She ultimately went with CBS, who offered her $1.3 million to do Celebrity Big Brother. Plus, they also dangled the carrot of, you know, and then, you know, well, you can get your own talk show after that. That's not the part I believe. Write the book. And don't do it in the house because everybody's going to be watching and those cameras below are gonna zoom down on the pages. Just write the book and write the book. If Omarosa had a talk show, would you watch Clap? We do it by claps here. Oh, one person. Okay. Well, look, Celebrity Big Brother begins February 2nd on CBS. This is the moment many of us have been waiting for last week. A 2011 interview with porn star Stormy Daniels resurfaced after rumors that she had an affair with President Donald Trump made news. Here with the inside scoop is the reporter who conducted that interview, our friend to the show, Jordy Lippy McGraw. Okay. So you did the interview in 2011.
Yes.
But the affair timeline was from 2006.
Correct.
Okay.
So, you know, we had found out about this story back in 2011 and didn't really think that much of it. We conducted the whole interview, we did all of our reporting, and the story turned out to be true. And then, you know, stories get killed all the time for various reasons.
Well, back in 2011, I mean, you know, he was big here in New York, but
yeah, I mean, he was kind of like a C-list reality star, a New York socialite. I mean, we also cared about John Gosselin at the time. So I'm sure if like John Gosselin ran for president,
right.
we'd probably be digging up old interviews about him as well.
Right,
so.
and at the time you were working at In Touch magazine.
I was, yeah. So I did the whole interview, and then, you know, kind of got pushed aside. And time went on. Donald Trump became president, and then the Wall Street Journal reported a couple weeks ago that, you know, his lawyer had paid off Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about this affair. Back
Only $130,000.
Well, yeah. And then, you know, so what I did is I saw this report, and I was literally on the way to the airport to go to Antarctica for 2 weeks. And I messaged a friend that I used to work with that still works at In Touch, and I said, hey, by the way, I kind of had this story a number of years ago. You might want to see if the interview is still around, the transcript from it. They found it. She brought it to the editorial director, and now here we are. Blew the lid off the whole thing.
So, what did you all do to make sure that this story was truthful?
Absolutely. Well, as you can read, they released the full transcript, which is about 5,000 words. Kind of hard to make something up like that. During the interview, you know, she wasn't salacious about it. She was
on the phone.
She was on the phone, yes. I did the interview over the phone. She wasn't trying to romanticize it or anything. It was very businesslike, but we did our due diligence. We talked to multiple sources who corroborated her story.
Polygraph test.
We had her take a polygraph test, which she passed, and we had those other sources, which we spoke to, also take polygraph
her
tests.
ex-boyfriend.
Yep.
And also her best friend.
Yep.
Who she told all the business to.
Yes.
And everyone passed.
Everyone passed. So we had no doubt that this story is 100% true. And now you can read it for yourself. There's some pretty good details in there.
So what stood out most in the interview?
Oh my God, Wendy. This was just crazy. And when I went back to reread it, things that I didn't even remember shocked me. I mean, first of all, for her, this wasn't something about having a relationship with Donald Trump. It was more of kind of a business thing. She thought he was an interesting person. She didn't really even intend to have sex with him. In the interview, she says she didn't even bring condoms, and she's allergic to latex. So usually when she feels like she might be having this type of encounter...
She likes the sheep lamb. Yeah.
She'll bring her own condoms, and she didn't. So they had unprotected sex, according to her. And it was very businesslike. So that stood out to me for sure. Also, the fact that he compared her to his daughter, which is a little weird.
You're beautiful and smart. He said something to that effect.
Yep. And one of my favorite parts is that he's afraid of sharks. I mean, these are just details you can't make up. And he's tweeted in the past that he strongly dislikes sharks. And apparently that came up in conversation during this romantic interlude.
Did she realize that he was married?
Yes, she knew he was married. I mean, obviously, he's a very public person. And I asked her if she felt bad about it, and she said, really, at the time, not so much. He didn't really bring her up at all. He just said not to worry about it when they did have kind of a few, back and forth about her a little bit. But for the most part, to her, it was kind of an opportunity. She thought maybe she could get on a reality show of his. And
she wanted to be on Apprentice because she has, at the time, she had a line of
she was a
sex
huge
toys.
porn star. I mean, apparently she was one of the top porn stars at the time.
But she had some sex toys or something like that, which is how they first met. She was in the gifting suite showing her toys.
Yes, they met at a golf tournament.
Yes,
and,
at a golf tournament.
And if you remember in the interview too, I know you've read the full transcript, he had her sign one of her own DVDs after they had sex in Tahoe back in 2006.
And so, how often were they together, approximately, like a timeline before she was just like, I'm done?
This whole sort of thing went back and forth for a little bit over a year. She said in the interview that he would call, every few weeks to check in on her, ask if they could hang out again. But it wasn't like this huge, big affair. Friends have come out since then and said, we didn't notice anything different about her. It wasn't like she was saying, oh my God, I love Donald Trump and we're gonna have a family together. It was, it was just kind of this thing that was happening on the side, and he would always call from an unknown number, a blocked number.
And then she would have to call Keith the bodyguard, his main man. And then Keith would pass the phone over.
Yeah, exactly. Or Keith would always be like outside the door to escort her into the room where he would be sitting and having dinner in his sweatpants watching Shark Week.
So, how is Melania handling this?
Well, actually, a New York Times report came out that said she was completely blindsided by this whole story, as you can imagine, and she was furious. She was supposed to go to Davos with him. She canceled, and instead went to Mar-a-Lago, where she enjoyed spending some time at the spa. But her spokesperson did come out and say, Melania is focused on her family and role as First Lady of the United States, not the unrealistic scenarios being peddled daily by the fake news. But Wendy, if I were pissed at my husband, I'd probably skip a business trip to go on a spa day, too.
3 lie detectors, wow.
Yeah.
And They just celebrated their 13th wedding anniversary
but
earlier
no one knew
this
about
week.
it. I
No
mean,
one knew about it.
'cause
He
they
didn't
didn't say
tweet. He
anything.
tweets everything. They didn't say anything, and apparently they did nothing.
Yeah, of all the things not to tweet, you would think that they might tweet about their wedding anniversary.
You gotta watch that
but,
number 13. Okay, so is she, Stormy, is she enjoying this attention? I see her on every other channel.
She's certainly not shying away from it, that's for sure. She's actually doing this tour across the country at different strip joints, making appearances. It's called Make America Horny Again. It's a good tagline. And it's selling out, and she's going to be on Jimmy Kimmel tonight after the president's State of the Union. So Stormy Daniels is causing another storm, I guess.
38 years old. It's almost time for her to back out of that life.
Well, she's certainly owning up to all of it and is not shying away from it whatsoever.
Jordy Lippy McGraw, thank you so much for the tea. Did Melania Trump refuse to hold her husband's hand again? Well, I'm going to analyze. Remember last year, Melania swatted the president's hand very directly. Watch this. When they were in Israel. Yup, put that hand down. And then the next day, she avoided holding hands with him. Here's the B-roll, and you see he tries to grab her hand. He's a cornball, and she's the yup. So on Monday, as in 2 days ago, they were leaving the White House, and he tried to grab her hand, and then her body. Okay. Now let's break it down, because first of all, you know I'm a body language expert. All right. Let me break this down for you. Now. I will have you know. The quickest way not to hold hands is to put the coat on your shoulders and not through your sleeves. All right, so good for her. But then he goes and grabs her body, almost like agitated, like he wasn't even able to control it. Like when you didn't feel her hand in the sleeve, just leave it alone, man. Look. Almost like, stop, bitch. Yeah, I'm watching my clock. She's miserable. Like I said, all she wanted was a green card and a baby. And now look. Honey, around 5 o'clock yesterday, I got something on my phone from somebody. It took me about 2 hours to check it. I could have kicked myself for not getting to it earlier. Donald Trump Jr. allegedly had an affair with Aubrey O'Day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you recall yesterday when I said to you, I don't picture him having manly friends at 40 years old. I picture him having bros. Yo, bro. And bro rhymes with? I'm not suggesting. I am not suggesting anything by Aubrey, but in the name of Stormy Daniel, sometimes the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, they met when she participated in Celebrity Apprentice back in 2011. He, by the way, this is being reported by Us Weekly magazine and also the front page of the New York Post. Big. Do we have the paper?
No, I don't think so. I have it backstage. But
it's big. Anyway, he allegedly pursued her while she was on Celeb Apprentice. I believe that part. I don't believe that you go to this show and you try to hit on not just your co-stars, but you also don't hit on who's in the boardroom. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a Trump. whose wife is laying home expecting their third child. Turned out to be a boy named Tristan. Right, okay. So there's the long-suffering wife. He's in the boardroom. He's telling Aubrey O'Day, allegedly, according to her, that he and his wife are heading for divorce. He's not happy with her. Isn't that what they all say? Anyway, so Aubrey, who is barely recognizable these days. Let's show the picture full up and down of Aubrey. The one with the pinched nose. Pinched her. She's gotten it done a few times. Like, no. No, I like the one in the bikini to really show the full, Who is that? Aubrey, girl, you're only 33. Where do you go from here? She's been around for a long time. It's sad when you're only 33 and you seem worn out. I like Aubrey, but I'm just saying she's been around for such a long time. I mean, she's been through Puffy and I don't mean through, but I mean, she's been around. Who else?
Puffy, Pauly D.
Pauly D, yeah. I mean, you know, she does stuff. Allegedly at the encouragement of her mom was the one who told her, start with this surgery and stuff when you're young to stave off when you get older, you know? Her mom is an attorney, probably an ambulance chaser though. I can't picture a smart mom. Like, I can't picture, you know, a Cochran or a Celino and Barnes mom saying, get surgery at 23 so you won't look, you know, 43 when you get to be 43. Because now you look 43 and you're only 33. Where are we going from here? Anyway, allegedly, Don Jr.'s wife found the email. Some very suggestive emails suggesting that he and Aubrey O'Day were having this affair. President Trump got involved and said, look, end this affair. Just end it and do it now. It's not good for business. Aubrey never spoke about the affair, but she gave a few hints. Like the night of the election, she tweeted, my story I didn't tell is worth millions now. I want the story. She quickly deleted it. In 2013, she put out a song titled, yes, she sings. In case you're wondering what she's actually in pursuit of. Look. So, back in 2013, she put out this song called DJT. Is that Donald Trump Jr.? I don't know. But here are a few of the lyrics. I always want you and always wonder about it. What made you stop believing in our world? I think the loss of the other world. I believe it in my head. I believe every word. Right? It was a big tease on the New York Post, but the more comprehensive article is in Us Weekly. You've got to pick that up. Aubrey also was right here on our show. Look, ignore my wig, okay? Just focus on Aubrey and what she's talking about. This was a few years ago. How many years?
This was 2014, 2012.
All right, back in the day, 2012. And she was on Celebrity Apprentice. This is after she got fired. She came here, and so here's what she had to say.
Will there be a follow-up, perhaps a date with Eric Trump? There was a little heat there.
No. He's too corny for me, girl. He
was really drinking you in. And
I can't do it. I need a man with some swagger, and there's none. You know, nice guy. I'm sure he'll marry a cute little blonde, you know, ex-Miss American Universe, whatever, but not me. Sorry.
And he went on to marry a cute little blonde. Suzanne, I think that was a wig a day in May.
Yes, I think it was.
Because you know.
Oh.
By the way, I like your hair.
I look like I have a wig on.
I like it when you do it better than when you have them do it.
I curled it myself today. It looks like a wig.
I like it when you just let it dry natural.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Today I crimped it.
Yeah, somebody did it for you last week when I was watching.
Yes, that was professionally done. Today
What
I
the
did
miss-
it in Jarrell's
Sometimes the
office.
professionals don't get it right.
Oh.
Just saying.
Okay, tomorrow, au naturel.
No, do what you want. We're just having a hair talk. It's just hair.
Yes.
So, so yesterday Aubrey was slut-shamed on social media. Well, why are you slut-shaming her? She didn't ask for him. He asked for her. I believe that part. I believe that part. You know, and you know what? The same people who slut-shame are the same people who jump at the chance and they're just mad because she got it and you didn't. And my thing, Aubrey, instead of writing a book about it, because really it'd be like a pamphlet, you're not gonna get such a great book deal. I'd rather read the Omarosa book, which does not include sex, but does include a lot of salaciousness. You know, sell your interview to like Good Morning America or something like that. Sell your interview to somebody and get a nice penny for it. You know, a nice 7-figure penny. Yeah. Because there's no point in being silent about it anymore. Now you've already spoken. And we don't pay for interviews, by the way, so we can be your second interview where you'll get the Astra minimum, which is $475. Okay. Did you watch Stormy Daniels last night on 60 Minutes? Well, she's 39. First of all, 60 Minutes didn't come on until 45 minutes late. I'm in the kitchen, you know, cleaning up after dinner and stuff, and I'm looking at the TV, and I'm like, all right, why is there a sporting event going on? I forget which one, volleyball, ice hockey, I don't know. There were some people playing sports at 7 o'clock, which is normally when 60 Minutes comes on. So it apparently didn't come on until about 7:45. Well, at that point, I changed the channel. I was on Bravo, watching, you know, Bravo-locity going on. But okay, so this Stormy, and you say, I need a reduction. How dare you? How dare you? At least I don't feature wild and sloppy. But she's 39. Okay. So she said that she slept with the president in 2006 only one time. She spoke about him having the, I think it was like Time magazine or whatever magazine, he was the man of the year on the cover, and he showed her that when she got to wherever he sequestered her, I guess a hotel room or something. And when he showed, then she said, you know, something or another, and then he ends up getting spanked by her with it. Just take a look.
And I was like, someone should take that magazine and spank you with it. And I'll never forget the look on his face. And he was like,
what was the look?
Just, I don't think anyone's ever spoken to him like that, especially, you know, a young woman who looked like me. So he turned around and pulled his pants down a little, you know, he had underwear on and stuff, and I just gave him a couple swats. He's like, wow, you are special. You remind me of my daughter.
Ew. At the time, Ivanka was 24 years old, and I guess he meant what? Feisty or something? I'm not taking it in a sexual way. I'm taking it in a regular way, like feisty. How awkward. This is what 39 looks like these days. Ooh, that's a rough life. I don't believe it only happened once. Also, I don't know that I liked Anderson Cooper doing the interview. Maybe that's why I didn't rush to see it, because I figured she wasn't going to say anything much, and she still does have that $130,000. She hasn't given that back. And then she mentioned something about her being approached in a parking lot when she was with her daughter. She was apparently going into exercise. A few people who don't understand children in our bureau meeting this morning were like, why is she bringing her daughter to exercise? Excuse me? Because when's the last time you exercised? These places do have places for busy moms who have children. Okay? Thank you for accommodating us, exercise places. Right? For a lot of busy moms, that's the only way you get your 1-2 on is when your 5-year-old is in the other room with the plexiglass, so you see the kid playing, you see nothing's going on, and you're getting your exercise. It's a mom play date, ma'am. Anyway, so the guy approached Stormy with the daughter there, and the daughter's like 5 years old, and said, you know, cute girl. I wonder how she'd feel if her mom, she was raised without her mom, or something a little threatening. Well, this is according to what Stormy says to Anderson Cooper. But they also did have her strapped up to a lie detector test, not last night, but I was reading like in the various magazines this week that they were lie testing her before even putting her on with Anderson. So I don't know what to believe, but here's what I do believe. I believe it happened more than once. I do believe all that she's saying. I do believe that she wasn't Me Too'd, and she was very specific in saying, you know, ladies, there's a difference between doing something when you're a willing participant and when a man or a woman forces themselves on you. He didn't force himself on her. She was a voluntary participant. I want to hear more. This Stormy can go away as far as I'm concerned. You know, she's got a few more miles left on her face where she could... where she could, you know, be at the hoedown. You know, the strip clubs love featured performers, so she can be a featured performer at several strip clubs across the country just on the basis of Stormy Daniels. But she can go away. Who I want to hear more from is that playmate, Karen McDougal. Maybe because she kind of looks like, who's his wife? Melania-esque. Like he messes with all blondes, but then he married a brunette. So I wonder what this girl really knows. They had a 10-month-long affair, she says. And allegedly. Are we still saying that? All right, allegedly. Anyway, all said and done, the president was not faithful to his wives. Donald Trump Jr. is learning the same behavior. He and his soon-to-be ex-wife spent the weekend, TMZ caught them at Mar-a-Lago with their 5 children. Doesn't she look like Gigi and Bella's mom? Yolanda, right? She looks good. Anyway, she looks good. The divorce has already been announced, but they do have 5 children together. We're learning more about Don Jr.'s affair with Aubrey O'Day. As if there's more to learn. There's no more to learn, but we did find this little morsel for you. On The Apprentice, she admitted that she was crushing on Don Jr. Take a look.
Take a seat.
What's happening?
Hey, big shot. Don Jr. makes me nervous because his opinion means a lot. He's done this for a very long time. And also, I have a very big crush on him, so I don't want to disappoint him.
I totally believe the Aubrey situation. And I totally believe that Don Jr., look, he was raised a Trump. He was given Don Jr. You know, the name is more than Eric. You know, he's Don Jr., which means you've got to rise to the occasion of being like your father or being opposite your father or whatever. I believe he fell for her. I do. And I believe that she fell for him, not in a thought way, in a real way. No, I do believe this. I do believe this. And I believe that he told her that he's about to leave his wife and strung her along. Her friends are saying that she doesn't want to tell her story because she already feels that she's lost. Her friends don't want her, to continue telling her story because they feel that she's already lost. You want to know what, Aubrey? That's why these aren't your friends. Because to me, birds of a feather flock together. So if Aubrey is going to be on the track all these years that we've known her, I mean, it's fine. It's only a 1-hour show. I've got to categorize things as fast as I can. All right. So now look, she's been like this. So what do you think her girlfriends are about? Probably the same thing, and probably jealous that they couldn't snare a Trump. So then, Aubrey, they're gonna try to tell you your story is old and tired and stop telling it just because they're jealous, because they know they'd take this story all the way to the bank. This is the thing, Aubrey. You have to look at this as your glass is half full. All right, you haven't done anything since you got fired from The Apprentice. You didn't do much before that. I mean, you were in Danity Kane in various incarnations of your look. I still recognize you, though. Although right here, doesn't she kind of look like Kim K with blue contacts? Yes, so you've achieved the look. Congratulations, you've achieved Kim's look. Aubrey, look, listen. The glass is half full. You are to go in the studio and you make one of those songs with a driving beat. Look, even though you're 47, you could... I don't mean that in a bad way. She looks better than Stormy Daniels. Okay? I mean, even though you're 47... Oh,
she's 34. Somebody else was 47.
Oh, okay. Then we gotta hurry up and do this, girl. Hurry up and do this, because, wow. Sorry, Aubrey, but you could pass for a woman in her 40s. Anyway, look, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, now is your time to make one of those songs that sounds like all the other girls on the radio, from Demi Lovato. Like, all the music sounds the same. I know all the words to all of them, but I don't know from one song to the other. I just know that I like them. They make me feel young. You make one of those songs with the driving beat, and at the same time you do that, we want you to produce texts and emails. You've got nothing to lose. This guy was never going to marry you anyway. I mean, maybe in his lost Trump mind, because I do believe that your sex probably had him tricked out. Yes! She does tricks. Anyway, I do want to see the emails and the texts. You can do that. Why not? Aubrey says she doesn't want to take financial advantage of the situation, that they really did have a thing for each other. But guess what, Aubrey? And I do believe you. Even when this guy divorces his wife, he's not going to come back and be with you, not even for a one-night stand. You are going to be the most watched person, if you're not right now, on the face of the earth in terms of staying away from the sun. You know, and the son might have it bad for you, but don't answer his calls. That's trouble. He's not going to marry you. And I wonder what's her name? Melania. What does Melania talk about the soon-to-be ex-wife of Don Jr.? Because Melania was there also. I wonder if Melania was watching 60 Minutes. I wonder if they watched there in the TV room. I wonder if there is a TV room at Mar-a-Lago. I don't know. Quite frankly, if I was Melania, I'd be like, look, I didn't sign up for all this either. Girl, come in here, let's talk. Let's talk. So T.I. is getting slammed by the White House. Oh, well. Slam a damn. He released a teaser video of him in the Oval Office with a Melania Trump look-alike. She's naked, she shows full boob and areola and nipple and everything, but you won't see all of that. She's in the infamous jacket that Melania wore. Donald gets on the plane outside, so T.I. takes over the office, and this is what Melania's spokesperson is calling for a boycott to T.I.'s video, saying that this is not acceptable. Well, you know what? There's so much that is not acceptable anymore. No matter what kind of woman Jackie Kennedy, which by the way, I'm still reading the book. Oh, yes. Oh, she was quite the, But you never had anybody disrespect her by dancing like a whore around the Oval Office and stuff. And Michelle Obama, like, people don't do that. But I think this administration has lowered the bar for just, you know, for everything. You know, everyone has jumped into the game. And so, yeah, T.I., you're in it too. And Melania, sit down. Sit down, please. And, oh God, I'm freezing. It's really cold out here today, right? I feel a driving wind and everything. It's blowing right in my face. Oh, sorry. So as a side note, this is what her husband does to her, and you wonder why we make fun of her. Look at this. He's got the umbrella. He continues walking. She's left out in the rain. She walks up. She does her best to compose herself. Then they walk off together, where she barely gets a piece of the umbrella. She's still out in the rain. You know, Trumps, you've done this to yourself. T.I., I found nothing wrong with it. And I do believe that Donald Trump, our president, has every right to investigate. If he feels that if he feels that this election was stolen from him, then he has the right.